So is this the first time Scooby Doo is done in Lego form?
Uh, this is the first feature-length film, Haunted Hollywood, that we've done. We did a 22-minute nighttime terror that was released a few months back, but yeah, this is their sister project, so this is the first time that we've done it. Yeah.
So I guess why Lego form? Like, what about the Lego form in movies appeals to the whole Scooby Doo franchise?
Well, I think Lego just has a broad appeal. It's got to be one of the most popular toys out there, if not the most popular toy. But beyond that, it's just a good vehicle to introduce these characters to younger children, and to put a new spin on them. I worked with Jim Krieg, our writer, on the Lego DC movies, the last few that we've done, and going, coming into this with when this was brought to me, like, hey, we want to do a Scooby one. I was like, wow, how are we going to do that? How are we going to make these iconic characters into Lego forms? The one that concerned me the most, of course, was the dog, was Scooby himself.
Yeah.
Because I'm like, how do you make him feel like hey, look at this little guy over here. How do we make that dog feel like a Lego thing? And it took some thinking, and it took some, R&D and some back and forth with Lego, but I think we managed to do it, and I think you recognize them as the characters that they've always been straight away. So
So I guess you've had experience with making Lego films before, correct? So I guess what in Lego's movies can you do that you can't do in like a real movie? Because I know in like many Lego films you see like, oh, the head pops up, the body parts come out,
right,
and that type of thing.
So it's stuff like that. I mean, there are limitations to what we can do, and there are things that free up what we can do. One of the things that we came up with for the Lego Scooby that we wouldn't necessarily do with the Lego DC was, Scooby and Shaggy, they always get scared, right? And they do these big takes, and and when Shaggy goes, like, maybe his hair will pop off his head, or it's just little things like that that kind of make it feel like you're in the Lego world. I think the best one, the most inspired one, is the unmasking for the villains. Generally what happens in, I think we're all familiar with Scooby Doo. They always unmask the villain at the end. They pull the mask off and they reveal who the thing is. But it's kind of a two-step process with the Lego Scooby, because first they have to take off the headpiece or whatever it is, and then generally, and this is a Lego thing, the monsters will have like, the scary face on the front, and on the back they'll have the face of the unmasked criminal, right? So they take the thing off and then they spin the head around, and then yep, exactly. So it's just a little thing that makes it Lego.
Okay. So Scooby Doo, I mean, it's a long franchise. It's been around for so many years.
Yeah.
But it still appeals to people. What about it do you think is still relatable and that people like about it so much?
It's a question that I ask myself constantly, because it has been around forever, and people seem to love it, and I love it too. And you know what I think it is? I think it's just the appeal of Scooby and the good-natured friends. Like who doesn't want Scooby Doo as a dog? He's just he's hilarious, and he's cute, and he's funny, and he's totally likable, and I think that's just timeless.
I think for me, it's like growing up younger, I was scared of horror movies. Like I was nightmares from them. But this is Scooby Doo's like the series where it's like I realized, oh, they're not real.
Right.
I still suck at watching horror movies.
Sure. But it can kind of introduce you. It's like a gateway drug into horror movies. Is that what you're saying?
It's like it helps you know, like, oh, there's someone behind it.
Oh, right. Okay. Yeah. No, I think that's valid.
Like monster type of thing.
No, that's awesome. Yeah, I think that's good. And I do think that's the there's that spookiness. There's the kind of it's like a small intensity for that children can get into. They can get into the mystery of it, and without it being too overly scary, which hopefully we haven't done here. So
what was it like working with Elvira, the Mistress of the Darkness?
I'm glad you brought that up, because I've done a few of these different television shows and movies, and worked with voice actors, and I generally try to keep it professional. I don't try not to get too excited. But Elvira is such an icon that when Cassandra Peterson came in, it was kind of like, I think everybody in the studio was like, oh, that's Elvira. Oh, that's Elvira. Oh, that's awesome.
Okay, when she sorry, just add on to it. When she comes in to do her voice acting, does she come in costume or just
No,
comes
no,
as a voice?
she came regular. But I'll tell you the funny thing about it is I never. There's been maybe 2 times in my career working with voice actors that I've asked to take a photo with one of the talent, and I had to get one with Elvira, so that was a thing. So at the end of the record, everything, the whole kind of crew went in there like, hey, can we take pictures with you, or whatever? And she's like, oh, if I would have known you guys were going to take pictures, I'd have wore the full getup. And I was like, oh, darn, like, that would have been cool. But anyway, yeah, it was awesome. It was real fun.
In making her character into Lego form, is there something that you knew you had to do for her, or?
Not not really. We kind of just let her be her.
Okay.
The character in the film in a lot of ways is a take on the Elvira character. It's not Elvira per se, but it's it's in the ballpark. So I think it was kind of just let her do what she does and then take it from there.
I guess to kind of just tangent off from Scooby Doo, since we're here at WonderCon, I guess have you seen the Batman vs Superman movie yet, or any opinions on what you might have seen from trailers?
I saw it.
Any thoughts on it?
I've got a lot of thoughts on it.
Okay.
I don't know. It was what it was. It was fine. It was
you
fine.
yourself, are you a Batman or a Superman fan?
I'm a Superman guy.
A Superman guy?
I just wish that we had a little bit more of a lighthearted Superman. That's all. I just, I
see
like
that.
my Superman to be a little bit brighter. That's all.
And I guess this year specifically, there's a large theme on superheroes fighting each other, but the bad guys are getting along in like Suicide Squad.
You mean as far as like what, Civil War and stuff like that coming out?
Yeah, you have like Civil War, you have Justice League versus Teen Titans, you have Batman vs Superman. So it's interesting.
You know what, though?
To see that they're not fighting villains right now.
Right. It's a thing that you lament, but then you got to look back, and that's been going on forever. It's not. It's kind of it's a comic book cliche, really. I mean, that's always how it is, right? The heroes fight, and then they figure out that there's an evil force behind it that's manipulating them into it, and then they beat the bad guy. So it's been going on since the beginning of comic books, and I think it's a thing that the fans love to talk about, so they love to see it. Who would win in a fight, Batman or Superman? Captain America or Iron Man? It's kind of, that's what fans talk about. That's what.
Do you have a favorite comic book story that you would love to see on a big screen yourself, or?
Well, you know what? There's several. I'd love to see some well-done X-Men films. No, not that they're not well done. Just some more faithful. I'd love to see a real adaptation of Days of Future Past. That was always one of my favorites. I would love to see an adaptation of The Dark Knight Returns. We did an animated version, which is great. I think that Jay did a really good job, and James. But live action, that would be awesome. I don't know if we'll get it now because Batman vs Superman took a lot from it, but
Any thoughts on the rumors of there being an Old Man Logan film?
you know what? I don't want Old Man Logan. Like, that's fine. It's, whatever. I'm not a huge fan of it. Like, I would love to see a Wolverine movie where he's in costume.
Yeah.
Put the mask on. We've been what, 8 films now? 8 films where Wolverine's been in it. We've never seen him with the mask on. What is that? Anyway, I've got my gripes.
Well, I don't want to hold you.
But I love it all.
Thank you for everything.
Thanks so much. Appreciate it.
Thank you.